Now on CoastTV News.
Homeward holiday rush.
It's even more crowded and more difficult.
Why travel today is expected to bring some angst on the roads.
Plus, revised trooper tribute. We have the update to the plans for honoring Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was killed just before Christmas.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Tracking a few flurries out there as temperatures are in the 20s. Tracking a pleasant, cold, dry day. And we're going to continue that cold pattern into the weekend, but there is a warm up in sight.
From risk to refuge. What are the next steps for this land that is now protected from development in Lewis?
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we're just 2 days into the new year, and we're arriving at the first weekend of 2026.
This is pretty exciting. We talked yesterday about a lot of big plans we had, a lot of plans to jump into the ocean. I don't know if you're going to be
My kids did that one year.
Oh.
I didn't.
Okay, well, I could have guessed that one. Matt's going to take his boogie board into the ocean and see if he can catch a few of those frigid waves. And speaking about frigid, we've got a cold day ahead of us, but Chris was telling me this morning that cold air might not last for long. Turning out First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Chris, happy 2026.
Good morning, Grace and Matt. Yes, there may be a pattern change coming next week that we'll talk about here in a few moments as we take a live look in through Lewis. Cold, dry conditions there. We're at 26 degrees. Now, we had another weak disturbance push through overnight, bringing a few flurries to the area. Most of the snow shower activity has been to our north across southeastern Pennsylvania and South Jersey. Certainly not dealing with the snow squalls like we had yesterday morning, but a few flurries making their way into the northern portions of the mid-shore as well as Kent counties, but that's not going to really amount to much. We're going to have a few clouds to start as high pressure continues to build over the area. Right now we're at 26 in Long Neck, 26 Georgetown, 27 in Salisbury. Winds are calm, so that's good news. We're not dealing with any extreme wind chills at this hour, so you can see not much of a drop off from the wind chill to the actual air temperature. So we begin with a few clouds this morning. Otherwise, a really nice afternoon. Partly cloudy skies will top out in the upper 30s across the area. Now we're going to continue the cold pattern into the weekend. There's going to be a disturbance that passes to our south late Saturday night. Could bring a brief snow shower, but overall below average temperatures continue through the weekend. But there is some warm temperatures in sight. If you're tired of this cold weather, there is some relief. I'll show you more of that coming up my full forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is providing some shelter for people who are having difficulty with these cold temperatures. Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services operating warming centers across the state. The department says locations are open today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, people can head to Shipley State Service Center in Seaford, Thurman Adams State Service Center in Georgetown, and the Laurel State Service Center.
As the holiday season comes to an end, so does holiday travel, and we can expect many people to be on the roads today heading home from their holiday destinations. This holiday season, AAA reports record holiday travel from Delaware with about 356,000 people, mostly by car, and that number nearly 2.5 million projected drivers in Maryland. We spoke with someone who traveled about 6 hours up to Ithaca, New York from the Delaware coast for the holidays, and she says this time of year, there's an added layer of stress when traveling.
So it's not easy to travel in general, but then at Christmas time, it's even more crowded and more difficult. And then there's snow involved, especially when you're going up to Ithaca, so you have to factor that in as well.
This comes as AAA says the national average for a gallon of gas has decreased this holiday season.
New this morning, this 30 acres of land called the 4th Street Preserve, looking to become a model for other areas. In September, the city of Lewis officially acquired the land after it was at risk of development. According to project leaders, they are planning to have walking trails and a few pedestrian bridges built over ditches, and that the project emphasizes education through nature.
It's all part of this being the first urban community forest in Delaware, is that we can study and come up with ideas of the best techniques to use for other areas for preservation. So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
And while Ford says the overall project is a 10 to 20 year plan, the educational and recreational experience is now underway.
New overnight, the Georgetown Fire Company battling a car fire on the Circle. As you can see on your screen here, the fire impacting the rear side of that car. The agency says the fire took place shortly after 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Things to know: the Delaware State Fire Marshal is urging people to take lithium-ion battery safety seriously. According to the fire marshal, these batteries are dangerous if damaged, overcharged, or exposed to extreme heat. And the office says follow directions when using devices powered by these batteries. Charge the devices away from direct sunlight, inflammable items, and to be aware of extreme heat, odd smells, or hissing sounds.
Across Delmarva, a fundraising opportunity in honor of Delaware State Trooper Corporal Snook. Tomorrow, the Blue Line Network will host a Back the Blue drive-through event for the Snook family. That's happening from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at William B. Keene Elementary School in Newark. Volunteers will place memorial stickers on cars, and all donations will go directly to Corporal Snook's family. Corporal Snook was shot while working overtime at a Wilmington DMV on December 23rd. He leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old daughter.
In Delaware, state police have revised the timeline for the celebration of life of fallen trooper Matthew Ty Snook. His funeral is at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center. State police say now a public visitation is running from 9 a.m. until noon, and according to state police, law enforcement pass and review that will begin around 12:45 p.m., followed by the memorial service at 1. His burial is private.
Rehoboth Beach's government updating their meeting format starting Monday. Officials say regular meetings will continue on the third Friday of each month. Workshop meetings, normally held on Mondays, are getting renamed commissioners' meetings and may include votes if listed on the agenda. The change will begin January 5th at the meeting at 9 a.m.
Ocean City's arts community kicking off the new year with a special First Friday event. It's happening today. The Ocean City Center for Arts is hosting the 13th annual Shared Visions exhibit. The organization says it features paintings, photography, and mixed media works inspired by original poems and short prose, which are displayed side by side. The exhibit takes place at OC Art League from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Also in Ocean City, beginning Monday, the town will upgrade water meters. All residential and commercial water meters are getting converted to an automatic meter reading system. Town officials say the electronic reading should improve accuracy, and completion is expected by April of 2026.
Families in Wrightwood, California rang in the new year with more rain, bringing severe damage to a community already recovering from 2 previous winter storms. Some neighborhoods were covered in several feet of mud, forcing homeowners to evacuate. San Bernardino County officials say crews are working around the clock to clear the roads and redirect the flow of the runoff.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. this Friday morning. The new year starts with continued foreign policy changes for President Trump and new laws taking effect across the country.
And this just in, opponents of President Trump are claiming they are concerned about his health and some recent medical tests.
The president spoke to the Wall Street Journal about this topic, and NBC's Bianca Ficini shows us how the White House is trying to calm concerns about his advancing age and fitness for office.
As questions and speculation grow, President Trump has consistently insisted his health has never been better.
I think I'm sharper than I was 25 years ago, but who the hell knows?
Now, in a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president is trying to quell those questions, explaining an MRI he had in October was actually a CAT scan. And as for those pictures of makeup covering bruises on his hands that went viral, the president blames taking high doses of aspirin daily to thin his blood for causing it, which initially started the rumors about his health. The president telling the Journal he's ignoring doctors' advice to lower the dose. Trump, who is 79 years old, will become the oldest president ever in office by the end of his term. But age, which he attacked former President Joe Biden on during the 2024 race, is just one of several challenges he'll face this year. There's the potential growing threat from Iran, where protesters have taken to the streets, sparked by an economic downturn in the country. The president, standing alongside Israel's prime minister earlier this week, endorsed a potential Israeli strike against Iran if the country tried to restart its missile program. In a social media post, Iran's president said any attack will be met with a, quote, harsh and regrettable response. As the new year begins, the domestic policy landscape is changing too, with new laws taking effect across the country. Many of them touch on issues that were a big part of the president's 2024 campaign. In North Carolina, a new law bans using state funds for gender transition surgery and permits lawsuits against medical providers. And in Texas, diversity and inclusion programs will be banned in public schools. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
Drivers in the Selbyville area could see delays on Route 54, which is Lighthouse Road, starting Monday, January 5th. DelDOT says intermittent lane closures are taking place between Van Buren Avenue and Dukes Avenue as work begins on replacing the Route 54 bridge over the channel between Little Assawoman Bay and Assawoman Bay. You can see that area right here on your screen now, and according to DelDOT, lane closures will mostly happen during evening and overnight hours, continuing through April 30th.
And we have a heads up for drivers in the Fenwick Island area. DelDOT says they will have intermittent lane closures on Lighthouse Road until spring 2026 for a long-awaited bridge replacement. That work is expected to begin Monday, January 5th.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, time for fitness goals, what local gyms are saying about membership as the new year begins.
Also, new police dog possible. We'll tell you why the Laurel police chief says at least 2 new additions are needed.
Still ahead, box office bonus, how some companies are hoping to keep an increase in movie ticket sales going after strong results in 2025. And first alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono's in the Weather Center. We see him there tracking some below freezing temperatures for this Friday morning. And we check in with Chris next.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Taking a look back at December, it was a cold month. We had the warmest temperature, 62 degrees. The coldest was 17, 22 days below normal for the month. And when we look at rainfall and snowfall, picked up over an inch there on the 2nd, but overall it was a dry month. We had a little snow there the weekend before Christmas, but overall we were about 5.5 degrees below where we should have been, and the rainfall totals were, well, we were over an inch shy of where we should have been. Now, looking ahead to January, looking at slightly below normal temperatures for much of the Delmarva Peninsula, and as far as the rainfall goes, we're looking at general normal, slightly below, slightly above normal, equal chances of seeing above or below average rainfall or even some snow as we go into the month. But we will talk some more warmer temperatures ahead. Your full 7-day forecast here in minutes.
In Maryland, it is the final day. State parks will offer first day hikes for 2026. Hikers can choose from 3 options. Ranger-led hikes, which will have set start times with some requiring pre-registration. Self-guided hikes are available on marked trails, and new this year, hikers can use the All Trails app to navigate selected routes and share their experience.
Movie theaters across the U.S. and Canada saw small but significant growth in 2025. A new ComScore data report says that ticket sales rose 2% over the year. That added up to nearly $9 billion in sales. A number of franchises are hoping to keep ticket sales up by offering membership deals to those who see movies at the theater at least 6 times a year.
Kentucky bourbon maker Jim Beam pausing production at its main distillery in Claremont. And part of the issue concerns supply. Kentucky has more than 16 million aging barrels of bourbon in its warehouses, and the state charges taxes on those barrels. The state trade group says distillers paid $75 million for those aging barrels in 2025. That is a 27% jump from a year ago.
Starting our Friday with some flurries and some clouds, but a really nice afternoon under mostly sunny skies. But we're going to continue the cold theme into the weekend. But there are some milder temperatures in that extended forecast. I'll bring those to you right after the break.
Time is 5:18, and we are giving you a live look at a quiet scene in South Milford. And Chris, we do have that dry start for this first weekend in 2026.
Yeah, we're looking good as far as any big storm chance are concerned. We're going to stay away from that, but our cold weather theme is going to continue right through the weekend as we take a look into Milford here. 26 degrees, dew point 14, so the atmosphere very dry out there. We're at 26 in Long Neck, 29 in Ocean City. We're at 27 in Salisbury. Now, good news is is we're not dealing with any wind chills in the teens this morning. Winds are relatively calm, so not much of a drop off from the air temperature to the wind chill this morning. We are seeing a few flurries pass their way across the peninsula. We had a few snow showers to our north across South Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, and you can see a few light flurries pushing through Kent County, the northern portions of the midshore. Another weak disturbance passing through this system, developing across the deep south. That's going to be passing to our south over the weekend and may graze us with a snow shower late Saturday through Sunday, but overall we're staying pretty dry over the next 5 days. Highs today 37 in Milford, 39 in Cambridge, 39 Vienna. We'll see a high of 40 Princess Anne and 37 in Ocean City. So we begin the day with a few clouds. Clouds will really dissipate through the afternoon, and we're looking at a partly cloudy afternoon. Cold night ahead. We're going to dip right back into the low to mid 20s, and then we're looking at clouds increasing in through the day on Saturday as that system passes our south. So we're going to have high pressure over the area, but a lot of clouds are going to be with us Saturday. Again, that system moves to our south, and we're looking at primarily dry conditions for the weekend, but the below normal theme is going to continue. 36 for our day on Saturday, mostly sunny. Sunday definitely the pick of the weekend if I had to choose one. So there's that system to our south. Again, we could see a few snow showers make their way up into the peninsula as we go into late Saturday night, but for the most part, that energy stays to the south, and we stay dry. In fact, we're going to be seeing a pattern change as we go into next week. We're going to see more of a milder air work in, and most of the week is dry. It's not until late in the week we see our next storm system, and by then it's going to be warm enough for just plain rain as we go into late Friday through the day on Friday. Now look at this. As we go into January 7th through the 11th, primarily above normal temperatures as we go in through that time frame. So we begin January with a little thaw as we've been seeing quite cold temperatures here over the course of the last month and a half. 40 on Monday, partly cloudy skies. Then there's that warming trend, 56 by Wednesday. And we do stay primarily dry, looking at our next chance of precipitation late Thursday through Friday. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A Sussex County Police Department wants to put more paws on its patrol. This is Laurel's veteran Canine Grimm, and the town's police chief says Grimm is nearing the end of his service, and the department is in need of a new generation of dogs ready to work. The plan is to add 2 new canine partners to help when times matter most, and according to the police department, the possible new additions would greatly improve operations.
By expanding to 2 canines, we can provide roughly twice the amount of coverage and cover all the shifts, which significantly improves our ability to go ahead and respond to violent incidents, runaway children, tracking fleeing suspects, locating weapons and drugs.
And the department says it has raised about $27,000 of the roughly $80,000 needed to buy, train, and care for the dogs.
Up next on CoastTV News today, time for fitness goals. How long local gyms say membership is expected to increase after the new year. CoastTV News today will be right back. The new year is a time when many people get started on those personal new fitness goals, and local gyms like Pure Fitness and Live Fit in Salisbury, well, they say they tend to see an uptick in memberships this time of year. Longtime gym members are also finding ways to better themselves or others as the new year takes off.
New year, the gym's always packed, right? There's always those fresh faces, those young guys, those old guys that come back in, and you know they're nervous, right? They haven't been in here in a while. They make those resolutions. And kind of seeing a consistent face on the grind, in the struggle, kind of in the trenches with them, I can make an impact on them without even knowing them.
The gym membership increase is expected to last through January, possibly even into February.
That's what I need to do, get my workout going, burn off all those cannolis and chocolate crinkles I ate this year. As we take a live look into Lewis, 26 degrees, a cold, dry start. Can't rule out a flurry or 2 here along the peninsula here over the next hour or 2, but a really nice afternoon. Partly cloudy skies. We're going to get up into the upper 30s, not as breezy as where we've been in recent days, so that is certainly good news. We'll top out in the upper 30s through Lewis and Rehoboth after a few morning clouds. Partly cloudy skies by the afternoon through Cambridge. A few clouds to start, 28. 28, but by the afternoon you can see those sunny skies. So really nice day across the area, but we're going to continue that cold trend in through the weekend. Joseph Muzinski, I think I said that right, Seaford, Delaware. Congratulations on winning an umbrella from Coast TV, and you can always call our Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. We will talk about milder temperatures in that extended forecast. That's coming up in the next half hour.
Weekend is here, and it is the first weekend of 2026.
Lots of happenings around here, Matt, and some cool things to do across Delmarva. Here's a look at some of these fun activities.
Yeah, Grace, you can get a good laugh tonight at the Milton Theater. The organization there is holding a stand-up comedy show. That's at 7:30.
And on Saturday, Delmarva Birding Weekend's hosting a cruise exploring the Delaware Bay. See, this is something that I would go to. Organizers saying the trip offers chances to see a wide variety of seabirds and waterfowl.
And on Sunday, the band Good Stuff performs a tribute show featuring the music of Steely Dan with additional songs by Sting, Stevie Wonder, and Gino Vanelli. And the performance takes place at 7:30 at the Milton Theater.
Now on Coast TV News.
Cold weather care, how people in Sussex County dealing with freezing temperatures can find some protection from the elements.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Tracking a few flurries out there as temperatures are in the 20s. Tracking a pleasant, cold, dry day. And we're going to continue that cold pattern into the weekend, but there is a warm up in sight.
Plus, holiday getaway endings. Why a busy day on our roads is about to begin today.
Lewis land saved.
So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
How the city hopes its plans for the 4th Street Preserve become an example elsewhere.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 2nd, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Zackerly. Thank you for joining us today.
5:31 a.m., first Friday of 2026.
That's true, Matt. And we're looking at the national holidays today going on right now. World National Pet Travel Safety Day. That's important.
That's very specific.
National Erica Day, if you know any Ericas in your life. National 55-mile-an-hour speed limit day. And most importantly, World Introvert Day.
That's a lot of specifics on the day.
I wouldn't say that you're celebrating World Introvert Day, but we have introverts that we know and love, of course. I wouldn't identify either of us as that, but I think that it's very nice. Maybe give someone some flowers today. You're
Well, that's always a good start.
Yeah.
If I had any flowers, I might give them the First Alert meteorologist, Chris Masterbone. He does such a fine job for us tracking these cold conditions. Chris, we could use a little color on a cold January day today.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Good morning, Matt and Grace. Good morning, Delmarva. Yeah, this cold pattern, it's going to continue, unfortunately, through the day today and into the weekend, but there is some relief on the horizon. As we take a live look into Salisbury, 27 right now, so we are cold and dry, and here we go again. A few snow showers, not dealing with any snow squalls like we had yesterday, but a few flurries out there making their way across the peninsula, northern sections across Newcastle, Kent counties, a few passing across Sussex County. Not going to amount to much, but we are on the cold side. Temperature right now 27 in Rehoboth. We're at 26 in Millsboro, 25 in Harrington. Good news is the winds are calm. So we're not seeing any wind chills in the teens. Out there you can see the wind chills are relatively equal to where we are at as far as the air temperatures are concerned. So we're going to be rising into the 30s through the morning. We'll top out in the mid to upper 30s. Some areas across the eastern shore will likely hit 40, but you can see the wind chills right around the lower to mid 30s as we go into the afternoon, and we will see sunshine throughout most of the day after beginning with some clouds. Coming up, we will talk about a cold, dry weekend ahead, and then those milder temperatures in the 7-day forecast. I'll show those to you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. It's our top story this half hour. That brutal cold. Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services are operating warming centers across the state. The agency says that locations will be open today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, people can head to Shipley State Service Center in Seaford, Thurman Adams State Service Center in Georgetown, and the Laurel State Center.
As the holiday season comes to an end, so does holiday travel, and we can expect many people on the road returning home from holiday destinations. And this season, AAA reports record travel from Delaware with about 356,000 people, mostly by car, and that number is nearly 2.5 million projected drivers in Maryland. This comes, as AAA says, the national average for a gallon of gas decreased during the holiday season.
New overnight, the Georgetown Fire Company battling a car fire on the Circle, as you can see on your screen now. The fire impacting the rear of the vehicle. The agency says that fire took place shortly after 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Across Delmarva, a fundraising opportunity in honor of Delaware State Trooper Corporal Matthew Snook. Tomorrow, the Blue Line Network will host a Back the Blue drive-through event, I should say, for the Snook family. And that is happening from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the William B. Keene Elementary School in Newark, and volunteers will place memorial stickers on cars. All donations will go directly to Corporal Snook's family. Corporal Snook was shot while working overtime at a Wilmington DMV on December 23rd, and he leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old daughter.
Delaware State Police have revised the timeline for the celebration of the life of fallen Trooper Snook. His funeral at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center. State Police now saying that a public visitation runs from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. And according to State Police, law enforcement pass and review will begin around 12:45 p.m. That will be followed by a memorial service at 1. Snook's burial will be private. New this morning, this 30 acres of land called the 4th Street Preserve, many consider it a rare gem in the heart of Lewis.
Yeah, in September, the city officially acquired the land, and as CoastTV's Emma Aiken shows us, there's a lot in store for the forest's future.
A field of green in the middle of hundreds of houses. But the 4th Street Preserve was once at risk of development.
That's all part of this being the first urban community forest in Delaware, is that we can study and come up with ideas of the best techniques to use for other areas for preservation. So hopefully there will be other communities within the state that mimic what we're doing here in Lewis.
That's Jim Ford, and he's one of the people at the head of this project. For starters, Ford says we'll have trails to walk on here in the forest. Ford says on this 23-acre parcel of land, wheelchair-accessible walking trails will be built coming off of 4th Street. And on the 7-acre parcel of land, those walking trails, well, he hopes those are complete by next fall.
And that's the idea all along, is the minimal amount of impact that we can have here, the better.
Ford says a few pedestrian bridges will be built over ditches. And it's not just walking trails, it's also about education through nature.
We're going to do about 3 15-foot diameter circles of compressed plants in these areas, and there'll be the habitat islands.
Jacqueline Ferris, who lives right near the preserve, was out doing this.
I had some extra pine cones. I figured the squirrels could eat them, so I brought them and put them back under the pine trees and hopefully have something to eat. It's an really, really special place. It's one of the only places left that's wild anymore. Everything else has pretty much been developed. So it sort of has a special place in my heart when I drive by and I see the deer that are over here eating, or somebody's walking their dog.
To keep the magic alive, Ford says the goal is to raise another $825,000 above what the purchase price was, and right now they're at about $400,000 of that. While Ford says the overall project is a 10 to 20-year longevity plan, the educational and the recreational experience starts now. In Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Happening today, several developments getting reviewed in Greenwood. According to the agenda for the Planning Commission meeting, they will look at sketch plans for a proposed development called Briarstone. Also, a sketch plan review is taking place for another development called the Village at Hop Toad. The commission's meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m.
Ocean City's arts community kicking off the new year with a special First Friday event. Happening today, the Ocean City Center for the Arts will host the 13th annual Shared Visions exhibit. That organization saying it features paintings, photography, and mixed media works inspired by original poems and short prose, which will be displayed side by side. The exhibit takes place at OC Art League from 5 p.m. to 7. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Concerns are growing over President Trump's health and recent medical tests. New overnight, President Trump has consistently insisted that his health has never been better. And in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president is explaining an MRI he had in October was actually a CT scan. And as for those photos of makeup covering bruises on his hands, the president blaming high doses of aspirin daily to thin his blood for causing it. Now, Trump, who is 79 years old, will become the oldest president ever in office by the end of his term.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, details in deadly resort fire. We'll tell you what witnesses say about the tragedy that took place during a holiday celebration.
Also, thriller in the sugar. New Year's Day night capper between Mississippi and Georgia ended up being the best game so far, the 2025 playoff.
And babies to bring in the new year. We'll show you the first babies of 2026 for some hospitals across Delmarva. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Hope this Friday morning is treating you well, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Salisbury, where the temperature there is 27 degrees. We have a few flurries pushing across the peninsula, nothing all that heavy. So we're going to continue to see flurries at least for the next hour or two. We're at 28 in Lewis, 26 Easton, 29 in Ocean City. Not much of a wind chill, so that's certainly good news because we're dealing with primarily light winds to calm winds across the area. So we start with a few flurries, some clouds out there this morning, but a partly cloudy afternoon. We'll get those temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, a mostly clear evening, and that will give way to an opportunity to see the first full moon of 2026, the wolf moon, a super moon. This name comes from as wolves howl at the night during the winter due to hunger. That is where that name is derived from. So you want to look out tonight through early tomorrow morning because we are going to have a lot of clouds roll in through the day on Saturday. So better chance to see this moon tonight. We'll talk about a cold weekend ahead and some milder temperatures in that 7-day forecast.
The wolf moon, Chris, very interesting. Now with the new year comes new babies. Hospitals across Delmarva celebrating births on New Year's Day at Tidal Health Hospital in Salisbury. The first baby of 2026, Spencer Morgan Stanley. He was born at 2:19 a.m. to first-time parents Megan and Ethan Stanley. Congrats to that new family. And later that morning at Tidal Health in Seaford, the first baby of the new year was born there at 8:40 a.m. Her name is Kylan Amari Cannon, and that's her mom, Zanaya Cannon, with her beautiful baby. Congrats to them.
Great looking pictures there. In sports, college football playoffs quarterfinal round in the Sugar Bowl, Mississippi's Lucas Canario bangs home this 47-yard field goal with 6 seconds left to break a 34-34 tie against Georgia. The Rebels are heading to the semifinals after a 39-34 comeback win. In the Rose Bowl, Indiana becomes the only team in 2 years of this current playoff system to have a bye and then win in the quarterfinal round. Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza threw 3 touchdown passes in a 38-3 Hoosier rout of Alabama to punch their ticket to the semis in the Peach Bowl. The day started with a dominating performance by Oregon. The Ducks shut out Texas Tech 23-0 to round out the semifinal matchup in the Peach Bowl against Indiana. Capitals begin the new year with a loss at Ottawa. It was tied late in the third when the Senators' Thomas Chabot feeds Fabian Zutterland, and this quick one-timer's the game winner. Caps go down 4-3. That is 8 losses in their last 11 games. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, 8:30, we have a recap of some of the action from this year's Governor's Challenge. Roman Catholic takes on Wasatch Academy, and then you can catch the final score at 10:30.
It's week 18 of the NFL season, and here is what is coming up on Sunday Night Football right here on Coast TV. Coverage beginning at 7 p.m. when the Baltimore Ravens take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sounds like it's going to be a heated game. Then stay tuned right after for Coast TV News at 11. And entertainment news now from Tinseltown and Rick Damagella with our Holiday Minute.
Marvel's Avengers Doomsday trailers are racking up the views. The dual Doomsday previews feature the return of 2 of the original Avengers, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The Rogers trailer has pulled in more than 15 million views since its release, with the Thor trailer surpassing 11 million views in its first few days on YouTube. J-Lo's Vegas residency. The pop legend debuted her Jennifer Lopez Up All Night Live in Las Vegas residency New Year's Eve at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. The residency runs through March 28th. And if you unwrapped a Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 console this holiday season, a new game for it is out now. Mouse, Mechanized Assault Unit 19, puts players in a retro-style sci-fi platforming adventure. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
If you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Stepping out the door this morning, the temperatures in the 20s. A few flurries out there. We'll start with clouds, but end the day with plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. Another cold day as we get those temperatures up into the mid to upper 30s. Tracking a cold, dry weekend, but milder temperatures are in the 7-day forecast. That's coming up after the break.
Time is now 5:48 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Salisbury. Chris, the first Friday of 2026 are good vibes in the air. Matt Pensick's got his cowboy hat today. That's a good indication, more than the weather, that it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on in the weather department. You know, we had the snow squall yesterday, but other than that, just the same old, right? Cold, cold, cold continues across the area. We're seeing a few flurries out there. We're at 27 degrees in Salisbury, 26 in Georgetown. We're holding at 29 Ocean City, 27 Indian River Inlet. Winds relatively calm out there this morning, so we're not dealing with wind chills in the teens. You can see we're primarily in the mid to upper 20s. Now, we do have a few flurries passing across the area. We had a few snow showers to our north. You can see some more sustained showers across South Jersey, but a few of those flurries pushing off the Delaware coast. Not going to amount to much, and we're going to continue to see dry conditions. This system developing across Arkansas and Texas. That will pass to our south over the weekend. So we keep precipitation chances pretty low over the weekend. Again, that system to our south could bring a brief snow shower late Saturday night, but I think we're going to stay mostly dry here over the next 5 days. Highs today, upper 30s to around 40 across the eastern shore. Clouds to start. Sun to finish through the afternoon. As you can see, Futurecast showing mostly sunny skies by the afternoon. So it's going to be a cold night with those clear skies, and calm winds will fall into the low to mid 20s, but then clouds will quickly increase through the day on Saturday. So Saturday, a cloudy day. Weak high pressure over the area, and we keep a close eye on that system to our south. So we're at 36 on Saturday. Definitely Sunday's the better of the day, right around close to 40 degrees. So there's that area of low pressure to our south. Could graze us with a snow shower or two late Saturday night, but we stay dry in through Sunday and Monday, and then a warming trend starts, in fact. And we're looking at a better chance of precipitation not until next Thursday into Friday, as an area of low pressure will bring rain. And you can see we're warm enough for rain all the way up to the Poconos and upstate New York, as some much milder air is going to be filtering into the eastern half of the United States as we go into January 7th through the 11th, a little early winter thaw across the area. 38 today, partly cloudy skies, a pleasant afternoon. We're at 22 overnight under partly cloudy skies, and then we have mostly cloudy skies in through Saturday. 36 again, watch that late snow shower possible as that system skirts to our south. 39 into Sunday under mostly sunny skies. Partly sunny into Monday, and then there's that warming trend. We're up to 50 on Tuesday, 56 by next Wednesday, and we keep it dry until at least late Thursday through Friday. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Developing news now. A fire broke out New Year's Day at a high-end ski resort in the town of Crans, Montana, Switzerland. Officials say about 40 people are dead. Roughly 115 are injured.
And this fire happened during a holiday celebration. Amy Kiley has more information on this developing situation.
It is a tragedy. The Swiss ski community is in mourning after officials say dozens of people died and more than 100 were injured in a fire. Authorities say it broke out in a bar at a luxury ski resort during a New Year's celebration. The majority, I imagine, of the people touched by this drama, they are the young people who came for the holidays. Some victims appear to be foreign nationals. Officials say identifying everyone could take days. They say they're not sure how the tragedy unfolded. It's unclear if the bar was at capacity or if the width of a staircase was a factor. Some witnesses blame a holiday tradition at the bar.
A barmaid would get on a barmaid's shoulders and hold a champagne bottle with these sparklers, and witnesses have described how the ceiling catches fire and then suddenly that fire really rips through this underground space.
A burn expert from Johns Hopkins says such fires can cause rapid asphyxiation.
Those who do survive can have massive injuries that can threaten life in the hours to follow, but also can result in threat to life for the days and then disfigurement and disability for those who do survive in the future.
Numerous medical facilities are caring for the injured. A witness says others also rushed to help.
All the nearby residences, restaurants, everyone who was still awake helped either with water, tea, blankets. You know, it was a big shock.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The time is now 5:53 a.m. Time to check in with our coastal pet of the day, Matt.
Okay, today's coastal pet of the day, as it does on Fridays, comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA, and on your screen right now is Casper. Casper is a sweet, we're also told a bit of a goofy guy for being an older cat. He still has lots of playful energy, loves attention, and to bring this cool cat into your home, you can just head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
What a handsome guy. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. If you adopt Casper and want to send us a photo of him, you can tell us what makes your pet so special, and take a look at your screen now.
Scan that QR code top center to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. And before we hit that 6 o'clock hour, let's talk about fairly typical weather conditions for early January with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono.
Yeah, I've seen a few flurries out there this morning, but we'll begin with clouds and sunshine by the afternoon. Another cold day, not as windy though. That is certainly good news. A lot of clouds for our Saturday 36. Can't rule out a late snow shower, especially across the southern portion of the peninsula. Mostly sunny skies Sunday 39, and then look at this, a warming trend. We're up to 50 on Tuesday, 56 into Wednesday. Now we do stay rather dry for most of the week. I think we'll have a better chance of showers late Thursday through Friday into next weekend. But look at that, an early winter thaw across Delmarva.
All right, thanks, Chris. And coming up in our next hour, holiday highways busy. We get you ready for an expected big day on the roads. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.